Oh my God. Wow. I might get a little emotional. Just kind of like a headphone that does a little bit of everything for a little bit of nothing. All right, OBS, don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. So I purchased a few things over the weekend, a guitar rack and some studio monitor stands. I would love to do an unboxing for those, but as you can see in this video, it didn't take me 30 seconds to get the guitar rack out of its box already being put together. And as you could probably understand, the studio monitor stands are simply that. They just hold studio monitors up off of the ground. What I will be talking about today is what's inside this box. And as you can tell, what it says on the box, Happy New Gear Day. It is indeed a happy day. As per usual from Sweetwater, a bit of honey and some other candy. And my favorite thing in the box, some Kali Audio HP-1s. Unfortunately, Kali did not send these to me. I made this purchase with my own money, but if you're out there, Kali, I'd love to be sponsored. As you can tell, I love your gear. I have, how many? I have 13 of your monitors, and now counting these, make it 14 or 15. Would you count a pair of headphones, 2 monitors, or 1 monitor? I kind of count it as a pair of monitors. It's a pair of headphones. Why would it not be a pair of monitors? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this a pair of monitors, or is this 1 monitor? Or is it simply just headphones? I don't know. On the front of the box, it says that these headphones are called Project Highland Park, and these are multi-reference headphones. That's very interesting that they call them multi-reference, as in you're not just getting one reference from these headphones. Kind of like, you know, the VSX headphones that give you multiple reference points, listening to multiple different virtual studios and environments. I haven't done a lot of research on these, so I really don't know a whole lot. I mainly purchased these because, again, Kali, I love your stuff. Your speakers sound so great for how affordable they are. And these, for only being $200, I think is what I got them for. And for what capabilities I have seen other people talk about, these gotta be good. On the back of the box, it reads out that this is a multi-reference headphone. HP-1 is a professional headphone for music production, mixing, gaming, and everyday listening. Interesting. In addition to its own neutral and reliable frequency response, you can listen in different modes which mimic the most popular headphones used today. Now, okay, just like what I was talking about with VSX headphones, you're getting a different environment through software integration. But as far as I understand, these don't include any kind of software. So you got studio mode, which is the default tuning, accurate, crisp, detailed sound that gives you a complete picture of what you're listening to. You have consumer mode, which is a natural balance tuning that emulates popular headphones sold with phones and tablets. Okay, that's very interesting. I'd like to compare that to like my AirPods Maxes in that department. That would be interesting to compare, especially with these being technically Bluetooth headphones, which I'll get into here in a little bit as well. And that you also have a bass heavy mode, a low-end biased tuning that emulates headphones that are popular with hip-hop creators and fans. It gives you a few little notable facts before even opening the box, that these are Bluetooth, have a 40+ hour battery life, and are, in fact, noise canceling. That's sick. It's interesting, and I wonder if these modes can be done via Bluetooth. You don't have to have any software integration. I highly doubt it, because that would not make sense for them to have all these modes, especially labeling it as hip-hop creators and fans. So I assume people that are just on the go listening to music would be available to use these modes all together. And on top of that, noise cancellation? Interesting. All right, now that we know a little bit about it, let's open this thing. All right, how do these open? Do they just, I love boxes that are like this. They literally just flip open. It's got like a magnet. Oh, listen to that click. Oh, that's beautiful. Let me try it. Let me do it one more time. Oh, beautiful. All right, first off, I love that it comes with a carrying case. Look at that. It's got the Kali Audio logo. You can't really tell. Oh yeah, you could tell. Yeah, look at that. It's like an engraved upholstery. Oh, it's cool. And as with all of Kali's products, or at least the ones that I've purchased, they come with a little quick start guide, which I think is not only just cool, but it's also very visual. So they don't have to do a guide in English. They don't have to do it in Spanish. They just show you. One press is for active noise cancellation. Oh no, that's for playing and stopping music. Oh, sorry. On the left or right side, it's probably the right side. Interesting. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I have to read and try to understand this a little better, or maybe play with them before I understand this guide. So on one cuff, it is the noise cancellation, activation, and deactivation. You press it twice, and then you got the Bluetooth enable and disable. On the right side, you press once to play and pause. You press once on the volume up or down buttons, which is cool. It's got separate volume buttons. You don't have to worry about like a scroll wheel on top, which I know a lot of people like that on the AirPods Maxes, but honestly, that's just super annoying. Sometimes I forget which way's up and down, and I've even reversed the polarity. You can do that with the AirPods Maxes if you have an iPhone, and it just, I always forget. Maybe I just don't use them enough. And then if you hold for 1 second on the volume up or down buttons, it'll actually skip or go to the previous song? The next song or the previous song, or probably a start over the song. And you got the power button, you press 2 seconds to power it on. And on that same power button, you actually press twice to cycle between your different modes, which is studio, consumer, and bass heavy. And if I'm looking at this correctly, each one has a different color. So like I guess when you're putting them on, you already know what version you're on, which is kind of cool. I wonder if there's a distinct tone it'll show that'll let you know what version you're on. Let's try that out. But it gives you a distinct color for each one, blue being the studio, white being consumer, and red being bass heavy on the same strip. Yeah, check that out. That's pretty nifty. And it also shows you how much battery you have left, how much it blinks if you're at 5% or 10%. All right, box out of the way for now. All right. I'm gonna move this out of the way as well. We'll eat that later. I love Bit of Honey. Are you a Bit of Honey fan? Or are you more of a Tootsie Roll fan? I used to love Tootsie Rolls as a kid, but I'm more of a Bit of Honey now that I'm a grown-ass adult, you know? All right, let's open these up. All right, beautiful. I love, oh, it's got a pouch. It's got a pouch with Velcro. Oh, that's, and oh, there's not a Velcro piece necessarily. The whole hook of the Velcro just attaches to the case, which happens to be that kind of fiber. That's nifty. I know that's such a small thing, but it's just so cool. Like they don't make it ugly to where it's got one strip on one side and a strip on another. Or just leaving it out altogether if you don't have the ability to Velcro it. But it's got a nice little pouch to put maybe a cable in there or something. Cable that might be in the case, you know. Let's take a look at what we got here. So one of my favorite things to get with headphones, let me see if I can show it to you. A 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch. Which is superb. So now the cable that it comes with, which is an 1/8 inch stereo cable, it's super nice to have because now I can not only use these headphones with my laptop and not need an audio interface, but if I did have an audio interface, I can now use these in conjunction and don't have to go out and buy a separate adapter. Super cool. And now, ooh, for the headphones themselves. Oh my God, these are light. These are super light. Oh, they're magnificent. It's even got the cups labeled, which is cool. I like the branding. I know some people don't like branding on certain headphones and stuff like that, but I like that they put the Kali Audio logo on both sides. And it's even got like a little shine to it. Let me see if I can back it up there. Yeah, just like that. Oh. I don't know. I like to flex what kind of headphones I'm wearing because then it gets people talking and you kind of get to understand people a little better about how they listen to music. Like, I feel like most AirPods Max listeners just like it because it's Apple branded. They're okay headphones. And of course, if you're a part of the Apple ecosystem, they're even better headphones, especially with Dolby Atmos spatial audio. And you don't have to listen to Apple spatial audio with AirPods Maxes. I just think they give you a neat and different experience. Oh, even on the top band, it says Kali. It's kind of cool. kind of cheesy. Let me see if I can get, there we go. It's kind of cheesy, nifty, but I love the way this band feels. It's like foam, but kind of like mesh. The mesh is like inside of the foam. I don't know. Well, for damn sake, Alex, just put them on. See what they feel like. Okay. Yeah, they feel like headphones. I mean, I wouldn't say they're like hyper comfortable. They're like the greatest thing on the market since sliced bread, but it actually already does a pretty good job of blocking out noises even while not being on already. Now let's see if they're charged. So I got the power on button. Am I in the right? Yeah, sides left and right. I know we're in the days of AI, but I feel like we should be over when you turn on a Bluetooth device that it talks to you. At least it was in a proper English accent. I mean, probably shouldn't say that, but it's like clear. I can understand it better. Does it sound like
the Bluetooth device is connected successfully?
So I know it's not super cheap. Let me just show you. Power off. It's so kind. Here, I'll just hold it up to the microphone so you can hear what I'm talking about.
Power on. Ready to pair.
And then when I power it off.
Power off.
It's interesting. I like just a classic boop 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 boop. Just a turn when Bluetooth comes on. Just you know the tones. You know when it's supposed to come on. It's a little weird. I don't know if I care for having the voice in my headphones when I'm turning on my headphones. I think I might be able to get over it. You know what I didn't pay attention to? I haven't looked at the specs a whole lot. This was just going to be an unboxing video, and then I'll give my honest review in the next few weeks or so. But I wonder if these actually have microphones, because that's kind of what that looks like up at the top there. I don't know if you guys can see it, like right here. I don't see why it wouldn't have a microphone on it, or microphones, but in that quick start guide I didn't notice it mentioning anything about phone calls and how to answer phone calls. So are these meant to be just everyday use if you get a phone call, or what? Hey, this is Future Alex here. I just clarified that these headphones do have microphones. It says that in their actual user's guide, that when pressing the power button once will play or pause the current track. Pressing this button while receiving a phone call will pick up the phone. Pressing this phone during a phone call will also end the call. And here's a little snippet of what those microphones sound like on these headphones. This is a test of the Kali Audio HP-1 headphone microphone. I am recording this on an iPhone 15 Pro using the Voice Memos app, and this indeed is what it sounds like. But yeah, that's what comes in the box. Let's do it like this. We got the actual case, you got the headphones, you got some cables, and of course a USB-C charging cable as well. I forgot to mention that. You know what? While I'm doing the unboxing video, I'm just gonna try it out. I'm gonna see what these actually sound like. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. Go into the Matrix Studio. Ugh, Jesus. And we're actually gonna go into here. I assume I have to actually turn the headphones on for these to work. I'm gonna turn off Dolby Atmos for this demonstration because I like Dolby Atmos. I'm still not a huge fan of Apple's spatial rendering, so I want to hear this in the most pure way possible. So I guess these are considered closed back headphones, but I could hear a little bit of bleed. Yeah, it's not bad actually. So right off the bat, it does actually cycle through those modes, the bass heavy, the studio, and the consumer modes. And what I can tell right off the bat is that the studio sounds very good, especially for $200 headphones. It's very accurate. Accurate enough to, I think, could be used as mixed headphones. And the reason I say that is because it's easy to tell when that detail goes away when you start including the consumer mode. When that consumer mode, it kind of makes it kind of MP3-ish. It sounds kind of, gets rid of some of the highs and just really makes it sound like consumer grade headphones, like something you would get at Walmart. The bass heavy one's also another odd one. I'm kind of curious what frequencies they are boosting in that scenario, because I don't think it sounds good, but I also don't like bass heavy anything. I've gotten accustomed to the studio monitors. I've gotten accustomed to what I like and having that accurate and most well-rounded sound. Future Alex again here at this part of the video to point out that this studio mode is the default tuning that Callie suggests for mixing and other studio use. The bass heavy mode adds about 10 dB between 60 and 600 hertz and about a 3D boost around 1100 hertz with a slight dip in the top end. And that the consumer mode is compared to the bass heavy mode but adds a wider band with a more subtle boost rather than like the 10 dB to the lows and a similar dip in the top end response. At least in a 1975 song scenario, doesn't sound good, which a lot of their music isn't very bass heavy anyways. So I'm gonna try out a few different songs. I don't know, the bass heavy setting might be growing on me a little bit. This might be something I would like use during a workout, but I don't know if these are water resistant. I highly doubt that, but I may use these on like a little jog or walk or something if I'm really feeling up to it. Yeah, with the consumer setting, it kind of boosts the low end a little bit, but it doesn't sound bad. It still sounds pretty good, especially trying to replicate the consumer headphone playback. Very interesting. Yeah, and in the bass heavy version, it restores some of that mid-range, the upper mids, I would say, and the low end is just boosted quite a bit, and at least to my ears. And honestly, I really like the bass heavy option because you get the best of both worlds to what to me sounds like the studio playback, because that's what you want in a good monitoring system, is the ability to reference multiple areas. And that's why a lot of people have multiple headphones. I have these, I have my Odyssey, am I pointing to it right? Yep. My Odyssey headphones, I forget what model they are because I haven't used them in ages and I just started using them again, and they are superb. Like these are nothing compared to those headphones, but those are also like $800 headphones used. I think I got it for like $500, so. But I'm gonna do a review on those. I also love Audio-Technica. They make great microphones and pretty good headphones, again, for the price, for only being $100. They also have a Bluetooth version of this that costs pretty similar in range as the Callie's, but I think they have a lot less features. I mean, I'll do a comparison video on all of these and the different model types that we have available for each of them. I will say they are very detailed, especially in this price range. That's crazy. And another thing to consider is that I'm listening through Apple Music currently. I'm not actually listening in a mixed context. So a lot of what I'm hearing is also semi-lossy. Now, Apple's codecs are usually really good, even if it is in a lossy context. So I think we should take that in a grain of salt, because I just started playing a really slammed song and it just seemed kind of eh. Yeah, and then the vocal comes in and it just shines through everything. So maybe it is a codec thing. Or maybe that I've never heard the music like this before and it just sounds better and more accurate. And to be fair, I haven't referenced very much on the Odyssey headphones in terms of listening to Apple Music. I mainly use it for checking out a bunch of other Atmos mixes in the speaker system. But in terms of using headphones, I only ever use those in a mixed context. And then with the Audio-Technica headphones, I use whenever I'm tracking, which is probably what these will be very good for, I would imagine, as like an all-around headphone. Good for taking it on the go, great pair of headphones if you just want to listen to music. You don't have to like have an adapter to listen on great quality headphones. And I know some people prefer it that way, and that's great. These are wireless, or wired. You have a bunch of different comparisons between consumer and studio and bass heavy. Just kind of like a headphone that does a little bit of everything for a little bit of nothing. Yeah, a lot of that detailed high-end pretty much just disappears once it gets into that consumer setting, which is actually a pretty good thing to consider, especially with the drivers that are included with a lot of consumer headphones. I'm gonna listen to a little bit of metal. All right, I'm gonna try out one more song and then I'll give you my overall consensus. Let's do a song that I've been working on. Already, I think I could 100% mix on these headphones. Because the mix sounds a lot like what I had going through my Odysseys and through my speakers. Oh my God. They sound great. Wow. Listening to actual audio in this instance, instead of, trying to stream it and do it that way, totally different sound. Especially on the studio version. The studio setting, I mean. I might get a little emotional. Just kidding, not today. But I'm working on this song that's a very sentimental to me, and the way it sounds on these headphones sound exactly how I've mixed it in these headphones and how I want it to sound everywhere else. And I think that, in my opinion, is the most important thing to have in any studio headphone. I got some headphone hair. Ugh. But again, I'm going to be using these headphones over the next few weeks. I'm going to put them up to the test compared to my Odysseys. What kind of Odysseys do I have? LCD-Xs, Jesus. I'm going to put them up against my Odyssey LCD-Xs, my Audio-Technica M50-Xs. I also have a cheap pair of M20-Xs that I might be doing a giveaway, so be sure to subscribe for that if you want a free pair of headphones, or enter a giveaway into a free pair of headphones if you know what I'm talking about. I highly recommend any of Kali Audio stuff right off the bat. This is not a sponsored video, but damn, their stuff is just really affordable compared to a lot of the competition. And honestly, if I only had to buy headphones and speakers, it's probably going to be from Kali Audio. Highly recommend them. And while we're on the topic of headphones, I'd like to recommend you guys to check out this video, which I talk about a virtual studio in which you can listen into multiple formats in multiple different studio environments. It's got a pretty good spatial renderer that replicates exactly what you will be hearing when your music is submitted through Apple Music using Dolby Atmos spatial audio. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you in the next video.